Hello, I'm natsuvega. I play JRPGs, and I've been reading more books recently. My wife Hannah, she's been reading a lot of books. I'm not reading nearly as much as her, but I think this is my third book of the year. I just finished The Agapéd a couple days ago, and I started reading the second book for the Warrior Cats, and I'll probably keep on reading the Warrior Cats until I finish the 6 books. They're a lot smaller than the Agapéd. The Agapéd took me quite a bit to finish, and I think I picked up the Warrior Cats book not even to read a whole lot, and I'm like a fifth of the way done with the book already. But just an update of where I am reading wise. But the Agapéd, it was really nice. Really nice book. I know I asked my wife for some feedback, Hannah. She watched my first Warrior Cats video. I haven't published the first part of the Agapéd yet, but she Hannah gave me some feedback and said I was mostly just giving what was happening in the book, so I'll try to do that a little less. I'll still do it, but I'll try to do that. I have my notes of the story of things I wanted to remember. I'll still do that, but I think that I'll save that for the second half of the story, and then what I'm maybe expecting from the next books. What are things I'm wondering what was happening. Remember, I was telling Hannah last night I was reading the Warrior Cats, and I was asking questions because I know she's read the books, and some things she answered, some of them she was like, the book says that later. I was like, okay, I'll just wait. I'll just keep on reading. But here for the Agapéd. If you're here from after watching part 1, but if not, there is part 1. There should be part 1 on the YouTube video once this one goes live. But it's been, I think, a month. I think it took me a month, maybe a little longer, to finish this book, so I didn't like binge it all like I did with the first half, and then everything was fresh in my mind still. But I still remember when I recorded the last video, I felt a little sick with the way it ended, but I'm just sensitive. And then I'm assuming if you're reading part 2, I can spoil a little bit of part 1 of the book. It tries to handle how the main character Lisa, she's dealing with the trauma of what happened in part 1, and again, she's very young. I forget her age. I'm assuming she's maybe like 6 or 9. I forget, but she is very young. And she kind of bottles up those feelings, and I think it's it was the way they handled it throughout the book was good. They weren't trying to force her to confront it. They would mention, when you're ready, go speak to Valhalla's family when you want, and that was kind of getting pushed and pushed until I think things happened around the middle of the book that made Lisa either need or want to seek Valhalla's family, because it was eating up at her. And I think I'll talk more about that when I talk about the book. But I like the way that they handled it. The beginning of the book, Lisa starts training, and I always love like a little training montage. I think when I'm reading something, I tend to like the beginning of stories first, because that's when I like the training section of it, and this is exactly that. In the first part of the book, we mostly see Lisa turning in magic, which was nice, but now she's like trained to be a fighter. And she meets new characters. The way they introduce the new characters was nice. It wasn't too much, but also there's like a kingdom with a king and queen, and we find out that guy Gaius can kind of go anywhere since he's the keeper of the stars, and he doesn't take no for an answer. And it's so different. Lisa can't again, she's young and she can't understand things because like meeting the king and queen is a big deal, but because she's the agate bearer and Gaius is with her, she kind of meets all these like really important people that a lot of people, like mentioned in part 1 of the book, people can only dream of ever meeting them, and she just meets them like regular people, like the guardians. We know that the people don't really see the guardians, and she's seen, if not all of them, most of them, and the keeper of the stars, now the king and queen. And I think we get introduced by the queen. Gaius kind of barges in the kingdom, and the knights are like, hey, there's an important meeting, can't stop it for no reason. And Gaius is like, just say, like, I remember, maybe it wasn't exactly like this, but he was like, say my name. And Knight really didn't want to go and interrupt the meeting, but after pushing, he did end up asking, and yeah, the meeting was stopped. And I guess in a way, Lisa herself doesn't understand how important she is, since she's like new to magic still, even after learning for months and months and months. And I think throughout at least the first book, it's her learning how important her role is, and how much people depend on her to vanquish the darkness. And I think at least through part 2 of the book, they do a good job, or at least from part 1 to part 2 to the end of part 2, they do a good job with showing how she's, I guess, slowly maturing and also understanding the burden she has to bear. We also later find out they're still not telling Lisa everything of what it means to be the agate bearer. Like the guardians and even Gaius himself are still keeping stuff hidden, I think, because again, she's young. I think I've already said that like 8 or 9 times, but they're not telling her everything, I guess, from, again, she's new to magic. She might be too scared because she loves magic, and I guess telling her the truth might make her afraid of magic and scared of doing what she must do, because she lived in a world with no magic. She was just a normal middle schooler. I think she's in her last year of middle school, and she just went from like a regular life to, defending the galaxy. And it's taking a while to let that seep in. Anything else that I liked about the book without spoiling too much? I guess part 1 didn't have a villain per se, or I guess a goal. Part 2 definitely has that early on. Not early on. They do a good job with pacing. Like, it's not like too much all the way. She's training, she's learning. And then I think maybe closer to the middle of part 2, they introduce our like first major villain. And it's scary. Lisa is definitely not ready for this. Even though she's been training in magic for, let's say, half a year, and then another 3 months she's been training sword fighting and actually learning combat. And even after all that training, all that hardship with the guardians, with the knights, with Gaius, and it's someone she has to defeat like pretty soon. And it's not like the villain was looking for her. He just ended up finding her, and she almost died. And again, it's she was with someone, and that person almost killed, and that triggered the trauma she had with Valhalla, like I mentioned. That someone else almost died because of who she is. And again, the way they she was bottling up that trauma. She was thinking about it, then she wasn't so much, and then they introduced this huge villain. Trauma comes back. And I like how they introduced this villain, because then we learned more about the past, learned more about Gaia, learned more about the Guardians, we learned more about the Agate Bearer. And then we actually had like a goal, like a finish line for the end of the book. Because now that we had not like the final villain, but a villain, and we knew we needed, at least Lisa needed to defeat him. If not soon, not too far in the future. And then I think they did a good job getting like getting to that climax of introducing the villain and then the preparing to eventually fight that villain. And yeah, I did enjoy it. It was really nice. They again introduced a lot more characters in this book, and we still had like Velmet. Hate that man. Why is he beefing with the 9-year-old so much? I mean, I can kind of see his perspective, but man, chill out. Every time this man's name shows up, gets me heated. And yeah, I think to end my review section of the book, it was a really nice book. I do plan on getting the other books. Seeing here, there's five books right now. I think I follow the author on Instagram. And she's usually posting. She's posting like how many words she wrote in a day, and she's on the 6th book. I'm pretty sure when she's done, her husband is going to be proofreading and editing, and I don't know if she's in the art already. She does a lot of art, but the cover art, I do wonder, because the ending of book 1 was crazy, honestly. So I wonder how the rest of the books are gonna go. I'm scared of because there's so much. I can't remember. I think the author said there was gonna be like 9 books. Oh, and there's audiobooks and Audible. There's a book I have on Audible, but I haven't gotten back to it. And yeah, again, there's books where it's like has 40 illustrations. It'd be nice to get, but I don't have that kind of money. Maybe in the future. But I do get the original editions. Do you think they look really nice? They do look really nice. And even the art's done from hers, so that's also a big plus. But okay, that's the end of the review. I do recommend this book to anyone who is looking to read it. And I will be reading the 2nd book eventually, once I'm done with Warrior Cat books 2 through 6. Was it each 6 books is a saga? Is that the right word? It's the volume. Yeah, okay. I think I'll start talking about the book in more detail a little, and then my thoughts, and I'll try to go through it quick. I don't want this video to be too long. I did write notes. But okay, if you don't want any spoilers, leave now, or put the video on mute, watch the whole video, give me a like, a comment. So yeah, so notes I have here are hunters. I mentioned at the end of the book, after the fight, of course, they're more, they're like, Lisa should learn how to fight. I guess they didn't want to, they just wanted her to learn magic. But after that last fight, the Guardians know that, okay, Lisa is strong-ish. And maybe if she was more prepared, she could have fighting off this monster. And so Gaius takes Lisa to the kingdom that they briefly mentioned in book 1. And there they to make a long story short, they end up meeting the queen to get her enrolled in learning how to be a hunter, because they're supposedly the best hunters in the galaxy. And Lisa's too young to join, but because again she's the Agate Bear, they allow her to start training early with Cal, who is the prince of the kingdom. Supposedly the Agate Bear magic is supposed to be kept a secret, but then later in the book we find out that kind of everybody in the kingdom kind of knows. Not in 100% detail. They don't know. A lot of the people don't know what Lisa looked like, but they know that she's there. Learn to be a hunter. And again, they meet the prince. And the prince and Lisa get along really well. They train together to be hunters. They take like private lessons together. And Lisa's better than magic than Cal is, and Cal's a better warrior than Lisa. And we both see them fight. Cal wins the first time. Even though Lisa's supposed to be incredibly strong in magic, again, she's not really used to fighting. She could have won the fight, but again, her lack of knowledge in fighting prevented her from, I say, winning. And then we meet the princess, who is I believe, or not the Cal's little sister. We don't see too much of her. She shows up for like maybe a page, I think, maybe 2 pages later on, but not much. She's kind of like she wants to go out adventurous, doesn't hold back her words. And we also learn that the hunters own like an animal companion, which in this kingdom it's bears. I think Cal calls his bear Honey. And again, Lisa can talk to animals, so she when she enters the den, she can kind of hear what all the bears are saying of wanting food or things like that. The queen seems to be nice. Doesn't mind the dirt and grime. We later find out that the king married into royalty, so it's the mother who is the queen, and the king is the one who married into royalty. And we get a sense that everyone respects him, and that's how he was like able to, you know, be a king instead of just someone who like earned, or someone who just like got his way in. He's also earned the people's can't find the word but you know what I mean, right? Approval, the kingdom's approval, I think. But we know that he's really serious, and Cal is kind of scared of his father. Cal also learns magic, but he doesn't really show what it is. Again, because of his father and what his magic might mean, because we find out Cal's magic, it lets him turn invisible. And who wants a king who hides, you know? So that kind of torments him. But speaking with Lisa, and Lisa talking to Gaius, and then we learn now there's more stuff with Cal's magic. He can create like invisible walls and an invisible weapon. It doesn't have to be like just turning invisible and hiding. You can use that to fight, and builds up his courage by a lot, because now he's not afraid of showing off his magic. And so again, Lisa and Kel continue training, and Kel's getting better in magic. Lisa's getting better in fighting with we find out that she can't use a sword, it's too heavy, so she uses something that's a little smaller. She also uses a dagger, I think. And then Lisa, I think they were watching a fight, and I guess one of the hunters requests a duel with Lisa, one of the adult hunters. And it's a very like close match, but Lisa ends up winning in the end. And she then gets all the hunters, begin to like her. They're excited that she won, and they get their respect. Maybe that was the respect. Maybe not their approval with the king. Respect. Maybe that was. I don't know how I lost that word. And then we later find out that even though Lisa's doing better and having fun and training, she's still getting nightmares every night of the night with Valhalla, and Gaius is again really supportive of her and wants the best for her. He's definitely grown a lot closer with her, because of what happened, Lisa isn't living with Valhalla's family anymore because of the guilt. She's living with Gaius. Gaius made a room for her, so since they've been living together, they've grown closer and developed training. And then I think because of that night, she had a nightmare and she didn't see Gaius. She goes to this one room she was told not to go to because the lights were on. And that's where Gaius keeps the stars that are being like planted on the ground, and once they're ready, they float up into the ceiling. And those are stars that then later go into the sky, and then Lisa sees them, she loves them. Gaius allows her to be there. And then we find out the reason why she wasn't allowed before, because the last gate bearer was also in that room, and the gate bearer wasn't killed by darkness. It was he was a really good guy, but I think the power seems to have corrupted him, and he was having thoughts of using the power of the wishing stars to become stronger, and then at some point getting immortality as well. And then so guys like, hey, the Guardians, we should probably get rid of the agape magic from this guy's heart and erase his memory. And the Guardian's like, what are you talking about? We're not doing that. And so he fell into darkness. He kind of had to like, get rid of the magic from him by the time it was too late. And that's why Gaius has issues with the Guardians. And I think we learned that his name was Icarus. Icarus was the last agate bearer, which we know happened like 100 or something years ago. And then after that talk, we find New Day. Lisa's back. She has. Did I mention this? They made a ring so that she could split her body into two, so that she could still go to school. Her soul into two. The other soul that's in Earth can't use magic. It's just another copy of her. So she's able to live a normal life in high school while also training during the week, and she like merges again at the end of the weekend, which causes her headaches, but she's okay with it because she can now live a normal life while also living the life of magic. And she has like a portal in her room to teleport to where the Guardians of Gaius at, and it's disappearing. It disappeared one day, and she was going to be late for a match with Cal to see their progress, and she evidenced, because she can now evidence, she can just teleport wherever, even though if you mess up, it can cause you some damage. And then she finds out that she can't just teleport. She was on an asteroid, I think, and she met another keeper of the stars, the one who moves the stars in the sky, who grabs the stars the guy is held and puts them up in the sky. She has like a little southern accent. It was a little hard to read, but I was fine since I am from the south. And we find out that only the keeper of the stars can sort of teleport wherever they want, and other people like Lisa hit like whenever they try to get to someplace, you have to like get like looked at, kind of like if you've ever been to an airport, they have to like check you to see if you can. But we learned another keeper, the last keeper of the stars, and they talk, they drink moon water, I believe, and then she gets late, explains to Gaius, and then they kind of joke about her trying to breathe underwater and choking from the first part of the book. I don't remember why, but I remember they were mentioning magic algae, and the line they said was the ibuprofen of the magic world, which I thought was funny because you can get like magic damage and like regular healing won't heal that. You need other types of stuff to heal magic damage or whatever. And then this is when we meet our villain. Cal and Lisa go to like a festival, and while they're doing something, Lisa instinctively feels something behind her, and she looks back. He's not right behind her, but he sees a man in blue slowly walking towards her, and starts attacking Lisa. Cal is still focused on the game, and when this guy was about to like blast her, I think Cal blocks the thing, and it bounces off, and it kind of hits the stand they were at, and they kind of run away. Lisa teleports away, but again, because she was like bewildered when she made it to where they were going. I'm not going to be too graphic, but she mentions how the teleporting damaged her, and they try to get to Gaius quickly so that she can be healed. We later find out that man is Icarus, the last Agapéd bearer. And it seems he is now using shadow or dark magic, and he shouldn't be alive because again, it's been like 100 or something so years since the last Agapéd bearer, so he's guessing using this to prolong his life, because they say he doesn't look good. He looks young in an old body. It's weird. It's weird. How does Lisa know his name? It kind of just came to her head, is how it's explained. And that's, they definitely knew it was true. They tell the Guardians don't believe it. They tell somebody else, because they have someone that can sense people, but they can only sense the strongest magic user in the planet. So that's why they think Icarus isn't strong enough, because he's not the strongest in the planet. So they continue to try training before they have to fight him, because they know what they think they know what Icarus's plan is, to attack Gaius's place during a specific day of the year, because it's the only day of the year the shield comes undone, is when they shoot the stars up to the sky. So they're training for that fateful day for Icarus's attack, and that's how it. And again, because Cal was almost hit, it brings back the trauma from Valhalla, and that's when a lot of stuff happens. I'm not saying everything, but Lisa ends up meeting Valhalla's family again, and not that they don't forgive her, but they never blamed her for what happened. And they hug her, they tell her that Hollow's really happy to meet her and be with her since she really couldn't have any friends, and she was finally smiling ever since Lisa was with them. And they see her as another daughter. I'm skipping a lot, and then during Icarus finally shows up, they fight. Lisa gets thrown off a cliff. Gaius is doing the most of the fighting. So Lisa can use all of her magic and sort of like crush his soul so he can die, because regular people can't kill people who are using the shadow magic or dark magic. Only Lisa can. Only the Agate Bearer can extinguish their life. And again, secrets, but Lisa's like thinking she's about to die, and suddenly her heart glows a lot like it did at the beginning when the Agape's star went into her heart and it was shining, and then she was able to fly. She felt a lot stronger with her magic, and she helped Gaius. They defeated Icarus. Again, just super fast stuff. Not going into detail of exactly what happened, and then Lisa dies. Turns out the secret they were keeping from her is that when she finishes her mission, the Agate star would leave her heart or something along those lines, and she would just die. So no matter what the outcome, she would have died, is what and that's what they didn't want to tell her, because I guess they didn't want her to be afraid of that. And the chapter ends. And they do something really cool. We're always seeing something from Lisa's perspective, but then we see it from Gaius's perspective, and oh, my heart. I love it when that happens, when they change the perspective to a different character. And Gaius is just in turmoil. He just feels terrible, because the reason he was like so cold or standoffish, he didn't want to get close to somebody again, because he knew what the fate of the Agate Bearer meant, but he started seeing her as a daughter, and really soul-crushing stuff. And because we know he gave up his immortality to give her a second chance in life, and again, she's really young, and I guess he can't do that again because he's mortal now. We know that because he's starting to get white hairs and things like that. And then a lot of dialogue between Gaius and then also the Glaney that was with him the whole time. And the Glaney feels weird because she always shares her memories with Lisa, but since Lisa passed away, it was like since a while since he didn't feel that. And then after several pages of just Gaius talking, the Glaney starts whistling again, and Lisa opens her eyes. It looks like the Agate magic still isn't done with her, so that's the reason why she's alive. Looks like there's still more darkness out there, I would assume, since there's five books currently. So she's gonna like continue her training. She's really beat up. She goes back to the Gaius's place. It looks like all the Guardians were there just in case things went bad, and even Vilmand is there. They shoot the skies up to the stars, and Lisa goes with her mom, and they see the shooting stars from Earth, and that's where the book ends. And yeah, I mean, it was a really heartfelt story. A lot of stuff happened. And I can't wait to see what the next book has in store for us. A little scared. I see like another guy. I'm assuming the guy on the right is Cal and the guy on the left is somebody else. Maybe there's like more guys that show up and maybe oh, is it? See, the first book is called Wishing Stars. The next one is called Paragon Games. Maybe there's like some sort of tournament, Hunter Wars, Dreamless Curse, and it's crazy tight. But yeah, one part of me hopes Guy goes to Earth and meets Lisa's mom and they get together. Is that weird? Is that weird to think? They both see as Lisa's child, but I guess maybe they won't see, you know? And again, Gaius is like 700 years old, but now he's beginning to age. I wonder if Lisa will keep on learning more types of magic. I know she can use water magic, earth magic, and now she knows how to fly. I wonder if later she can learn how to heal or something. I don't know, something else. I guess they haven't tried fire or... I can't wait to see Lisa's growth throughout the book and her with Gaius, because I think that's Gaius in the 4th book. And there's like a wing somewhere. No, that's a skull. Never mind. Scary. Book 4 looks scary. So does 3 a little, but I wonder how wide the gap would be in years between books. I wonder if it'll just pick up right away, or if the time skip will be during the book or between books. But yeah, I don't have much to say. Thank you for being here, listening, and if you want to keep on hearing more about what I think about the book, talking about the book, if you have any theories, or no spoilers please, but I would like to talk about the book some more, and I will be once I'm done with Warrior Cats, starting the 2nd book, which who knows when I'll get to it. But yeah, hope you had a nice time here, and I will catch you next time whenever this video goes live. It is currently July 11th of the recording of this video. Who knows if it'll even come out in July? Maybe it'll come out in August, because well, anyway, take care. Bye bye.